That's the sweet spot. Introducing the most powerful mid-sized truck, period. The all-new 265 horsepower Nissan Frontier. Welcome to the sweet spot.
A season of obstacles and achievements.
Of hard work and hardship.
Of celebration and rejection.
The Eagles' dream denied.
This is FOX29, 10 o'clock news.
Excitement, anxiety, frustration, just a few of the emotions sparked by tonight's tight matchup that ended in disappointment for our birds.
And here is a live look from Skyfox over the northeast side of Philadelphia as fans pour into the streets, many of them getting unruly, obviously disappointed with the outcome of the game.
Yeah, and fans in the streets are taking tonight's loss very hard after coming, oh, so close to a Super Bowl title. The Eagles' dream denied tonight. What a bummer. Hi, everybody. I'm Dawn Senforn.
And I'm Dave Huddleston. What a night, even with the way it ended. More on the game in the minutes, but right now the story is the fans. Back to Skyfox. You're looking live at a picture from Frankfurt and Cotman. We have two crews waiting to bring you the very latest. We begin with Steve Keeley, who was in Skyfox. Steve, what do you see?
Well, let's keep looking at this live picture. You see patrol cars now closing off one side of Frankfurt Avenue. There are a lot of sports bars here, and as soon as the game ended, we saw big crowds pour out on the street. Some crowds either ripping New England jerseys or Eagle jerseys. It was tough to tell the color from up here, but while doing that, a couple of them fell, and then a couple of them started a fight in the middle of this big sea of people here. The police rushed in to break it up. Plenty of police on hand here. They have one of their mobile command units at Frankfurt and Torresdale, that corner, which is a gathering place for fans every time a Philadelphia sports team makes it to a final series. And this time they gathered just because most of them had been out in all these clubs, and usually they shut down the streets and outnumber the police. And here's a case of where they're shutting down the street along with the police, but police trying to keep this under control. And as we're looking at this picture right now, the crowd seems to get bigger. And I'll remember after the '81 Super Bowl loss, people gathered on Broad Street, but it was mostly a calm scene there. Nothing like this. This looks a little more than just calm. And we're looking at this right now, and no major problems, it looks like. And you can see a lot of police trying to just keep the people on the sidewalk and hopefully try to convince them to go home. Dave, Dawn?
All right.
Okay, thank you, Steve. And no reports of any injuries at this point.
None at all. Let's get it closer to the ground. Dave Stratweiser is in the Northeast, in the middle of all that action at Frankfurt and Cotman. Dave, you've been with the fans most of the night, experiencing the highs and lows with them.
Pretty calm at the beginning, Dave, but let me tell you right now, a lot of fans out on the street. You can see police officers now with their hard hats on. They just arrived on the scene about 3 or 4 minutes ago, as Steve just told you. The fans were pretty good here tonight. We were in and out of a couple of locations here, behaving themselves, very disappointed with the Eagles' loss. I don't see any outward violence other than one fan throwing a beer bottle at a car as it passed. A lot of these fans were walking out in the street in front of the cars. Lots of horns blowing out here. As you can see, these are highway patrolmen now on the scene with the white helmets. They arrived here in mass about 5 minutes ago. They have things moving again. Traffic was moving up and down Frankfurt. It stopped for a period of time. We're at the corner of Wellington and Frankfurt, where the police wanted us to stage. And as you can see, thousands of fans on the street here. Most of them well-behaved, obviously upset, but obviously a lot of them intoxicated, have been drinking all night long. The police are now trying to move them down Frankfurt, away from Cotman, south on Frankfurt. They're keeping a pretty good control over things right here. I'd say there's upwards of 100 police officers on the street right here. No one really getting out of hand. There are some Eagles chants, E-A-G-L-E-S, a lot of that going on out here. Most of the fans we spoke with are disappointed, but I kept hearing the phrase, next year. Wait till next year. We played them a great game. They were very happy with T.O.'s performance tonight. A little bit disappointed with Donovan McNabb and the interception. But as you can see right now, we have lots of police officers on the scene. This is the Highway Patrol. They like to call it the Elite Highway Patrol. These guys are ready for whatever action breaks out here. But right now, they're keeping things under control. We haven't seen any arrests or anything like that, other than the one fan throwing a beer bottle at a passing car. I have not seen any misbehavior at this point. Steve referred to a meeting in the middle of the street where they were ripping apart a New England Patriots jersey, but that's about it. Everybody's dressed in their Eagles regalia, black shirts, green shirts, Westbrook, Owens, McNabb, plenty of those jerseys out here tonight. But as you can see, The police are in the middle of the street. They have things well under control here. I would say there were upwards of about 2,000 fans on the street emptying out of the bars up here in the Mayfair section. The police are now moving away from this area to another area. They're racing away. We're headed towards the Cotman area. But again, right here on the street, police do have control. We're at Wellington and Frankfurt. Things are looking pretty good. Let me tell you something a little bit about the fans tonight, if we can. The camera comes over to me. The fans, pretty well behaved. We were in several establishments cheering on right to the last minute there when the Eagles made that last touchdown and got within 3 points. Really, really hoping for a victory, but it just did not happen. I didn't see anyone in the bars that I was in acting unruly. Disappointment, heads on the bar, crying, some of the women crying about the loss, that kind of thing. But not really getting too badly upset and talking about next year. They know the Eagles have a lot of money under the cap to get other players. They know they have some draft choices. They're figuring they'll be back next year, the year after that, and the year after that. So let's go back, if we can, now to the street and show you. We have several thousand fans. The police have now moved away. They're on foot here. They're trying to keep the fans off the street at Frankfurt so that they can move the traffic along. A little bit dangerous a couple of minutes ago as people were running out into the street trying to stop cars and pat cars. And now we see police are starting to get traffic moving again, northbound and southbound. A little bit of a tie-up northbound here on Frankfurt. But again, the police seem to have things well under control here. Lots of fans on the street rooting for their Eagles. Obviously a loss, but, you know, pushing for next year. So we see lots of fans there. But again, police have things under control out here. We'll keep an eye on things, and we'll be back to you in just a short bit.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave.
Glad to hear it's under control there.
Definitely. Again, hundreds of fans also passing the Chickies and Pete's on the boulevard tonight.
Yeah, Fox 29's Claudia Gomez joined them live for the game in the northeast. Claudia, how is it there right now? A lot of disappointment, I know.
Very quiet, very sedate. Actually, they're just starting to come back to life now. So we have the cameras on them. Just a couple of minutes ago, this crowd was really quiet, obviously disappointed with the outcome. This is what some of the fans have to say.
I'm disappointed, but, you know, it was a great season. You know, it's something we've been waiting for a long time, but, hey, I think we'll be back next year.
The team showed a lot of heart.
Yeah, they did. And I don't think it was their best game, but go Eagles.
Are you disappointed in the team at all?
No, not at all. No, great game. Great season. Love the Eagles. Go Eagles.
This is my first Super Bowl. I was hugely impressed by the commitment of the Eagles, and I really believe they will be back next year to win the Super Bowl.
It was a great game. A win would have been great, but you know what? Our boys did good, and we're proud.
They had such an awesome season, and it doesn't matter. Win or lose, we're behind them 100%.
You got to give credit to the Patriots, but I think, you know, we just didn't have the luck today.
Those fans commenting within minutes after the end of the game. Again, these fans coming back to life now that they're on TV, but a lot of depression here in the minutes after the game. But again, hearing the same thing over and over again. This time next year, they're expecting a different outcome. Live in the Northeast, I'm Claudia Gomez, Fox 29 News. Back to you guys.
Glad
Thanks,
to see you.
Claudia.
They still have a little spirit tonight.
Yeah, maybe being live on TV, you know, brighten their spirits a little bit. I don't know. South Philadelphia, obviously another hot spot where Eagles fans traditionally fill the streets after a big game. But what about after this devastating loss?
Fox 29's Christian Farr is live at Broaden, Oregon, a few blocks from the Bird's Nest.
Yeah, Don and Dave, you know, 2 weeks ago, it was pretty much crazy out here. NFC Championship win. People really excited. People pouring into the streets down here in Broaden, Oregon. Take a look at it right now. There are actually pretty much more cops on the street than there are Eagles fans. We've seen a lot of them walking around, a lot of dejected Eagles fans, but a lot of them very positive. In fact, somebody just drove past us probably just a short time ago and pretty much said, you know, we're going to do it next year, yelling E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. And the Philadelphia police, what we're going to do is show you some video that we shot a little bit earlier. Philadelphia police were just getting ready just in case. We shot this video before the game ended, and they were just out there tying up some ropes between light poles at the intersection just to control the crowds in case they got out of control, but they did not, of course. Eagles fans kind of used to this, used to these losses, unfortunately, but they're still staying positive about all of this. Of course, we're going to stay out here to see if anything's going to happen. As you can see, some other Eagles fans coming out here to see if there's going to be any problems, but we don't anticipate any. Pretty much fans have been holding their heads low, but have been thinking about the future. Hopefully next year they're going to be able to do this and bring the Super Bowl home to this city. Reporting live here in South Philadelphia, Christian Farr, Fox 29 News.
Thank you, Christian.
Coming up here on the Fox 29 10 o'clock news, fans in Philadelphia and Jacksonville feeling the disappointment tonight. We'll take you to Tolly and Alltel Stadium, and Billy V has highlights in just a few minutes.
And a mild day today, but there's some changes in the forecast. My forecast a little bit later on. Stay tuned.
Super Bowl 39 is history. The dream denied. Our boys are coming back, and they're talking. Only on Fox 29, tomorrow at 10.
Would you believe that she's only had 2 drinks, knowing when to say when next? Good day.
Discover the endless possibilities and low price of the all-new Ford Freestyle. Now only $299 a month. This President's Day, go where there are no roads.
Now you can get great tasting steak without a grill. Introducing the new steak, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich from Dunkin' Donuts, served on a freshly baked bagel. Have your steak in the morning and give your grill the day off. Dunkin' Donuts, bring yourself back.
What's my friend? Come on.
Kid, how many fingers I got up? 4. What city are we in?
I don't know.
You remember what you did last night?
No. Remember what I did last night? No.
He's fine. It's all good. Let him in.
Life is full of milestones. That's why Sovereign Bank offers milestone banking. So you can grow, achieve, and thrive. Sovereign Bank.
Dream denied. So close, yet so far. Thanks for an awesome season from Fox 29.
There's a new way to search. Introducing the new, more precise, more powerful MSN search.
A dream denied. You're looking live now at Frankfurt and Cottman in Northeast Philadelphia. People coming out had hoped to celebrate tonight. Obviously, a Super Bowl victory, the first Super Bowl victory in more than 2 decades. But unfortunately, just folks coming out to commiserate. No major problems, but police on the scene, keeping the peace in our neighborhoods in Philadelphia. And you know what? I do believe we will be at the Super Bowl next year, and we will do it next year. You know, we're just heartbroken tonight.
Yeah, Dave Stratweiser was in the Northeast. He says that maybe about 2,000 fans have poured into the street. Let's go to Dave Stratweiser once again. He is in the Mayfair section of Philadelphia. Dave?
Dave, I'm on top of Harrington's at Wellington and Frankfurt. As you can see down the block, well, let's take a quick look from up here on our vantage point. Several hundred fans still on the sidewalks, at least down there right now. The police moved in very quickly, took control of the situation, and they've now began to disperse the crowd. Still quite a few people down at the corner of Frankfurt and Cottman, but there was a big crowd here at Wellington and Frankfurt. They were moved away immediately by the police, and there are now police in and around the area, completely keeping things under control. Traffic is still moving. Quite a night here in the Northeast. Let me tell you, here at Harrington's Bar, lots of fans, maybe a couple of hundred watching the game. We watched the game right with them, and there was, even though there's disappointment that the Eagles lost, there was a lot of joy, especially during that first touchdown. Okay, we were going to try and go to some sound after the first touchdown by the Eagles. Let me tell you, okay, here it is. right, there you go. That's the first touchdown. All right, there's the first touchdown right there by the Eagles early in that first quarter. I got to tell you right now that the fans here, very well behaved, really rooting the Eagles on from start to finish. Really thought they had a chance right there at the end. Behaved, left the bar out onto the streets. And again, they were on the sidewalks for most of the time. But Jared, if we can go down the block again here, you can see still several hundred fans on the street. But again, police are dispersing them, trying to keep the situation under control. We have not seen any arrests at this point here. We do have highway patrol officers with their hard hats and batons. But again, all they're doing is talking to the fans, moving them off the street. Very good job by police here. Things are under control. That's it live from here in Mayfair. I'm Dave Stratweiser. Guys, back to you.
Hey, Dave, a quick question for you before we let you go. I just wanted to ask you remember the Mardi Gras melee a few years back on South Street? Just to compare what's going on back then, because people didn't live in that neighborhood. But these are folks out on the street who've grown up here, who live in this area and have pride in the Eagles and in their neighborhood.
Exactly, and I think the pride in the Eagles is kind of overriding things here. They're proud of the fight they put up with the Patriots tonight, the fact that they were in the game right to the end, and this is their neighborhood. These are not people from out of town coming in here. These are folks from up here in the Northeast in Mayfair, and they're trying to move along and hopefully take this loss and move on to next year.
And like you said, Dave, again next year. We can do it again next year. There's a lot of faith in this team. Thanks, Dave. Let's go down to Jacksonville. Our sports director, Don Tollison, is there getting reactions from some of the fans and players. We're definitely feeling this hard.
Yeah, we've been there all week, Holly. Dave and I, as you know, just flew back from Jacksonville, and we had hoped so much, and what a disappointment tonight.
Yeah, it's an extreme disappointment, and I'll tell you, Dawn and Dave, one barometer of how big the Philadelphia Eagles crowd was here is that after most Super Bowls, and believe it or not, I've been to 27 of them, you have so many fans left cheering the champions. There are the New England Patriots players all around me. The celebration continues on the field, but very, very few Patriots fans in the stands. This was a huge pro-Eagles crowd, and they saw an excellent effort in particular by one T.O. T.O. came out and played great football. No one can deny that he was a key figure tonight. He did things on the football field that a lot of people felt, frankly, he would not be able to do. He cut, he took hits, and he did a lot of things to keep the Philadelphia Eagles in this football game. But the one thing everybody seems to be talking about, we've been listening to the news conferences with Coach Reed and Donovan McNabb and listening to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, is that experience is so important in this game. And I'll tell you, Dawn and Dave, that was so obvious in one aspect in particular. The Eagles take that lead, but the Patriots do not panic. They just keep playing, keep working hard. They've been here before. They've won before. And the Patriots come back, tie the game, and then pull away in the second half and get the victory 24-21. But so much to be proud of about the Philadelphia Eagles' effort this year. But as you mentioned, Dawn and Dave, those pictures of the guys coming off the field, not just the disappointment that you didn't win the Super Bowl, but that you lost by only 3 points, and that it was right there for the taking, but they didn't close the deal, and that's very, very disappointing to this great group of football players.
Yes,
Holly,
it is, Holly.
if you can just do me a favor, though, can you take your mic and just whack some of those papers over the head? I'm not going to tell anybody back here. Our boss won't know anything about it, all right? Just do that for me, man.
They still got shoulder pads on. So I think I'll wait till they're down to the T-shirts. And speaking of which, I'm still, and I hope you don't mind, I'm going to do it. I'm still wearing this because I'm very proud of this team and the way it united this city. And you know what? The guys also, I was just talking to them briefly, talking about next year starts tomorrow. They'll work hard in the offseason, and the experience of what happened tonight bodes well next time around, guys, as you've been saying.
Yeah, thanks,
Holly.
And
You've got to be proud of this.
Yeah, I mean, they took us to the Super Bowl after all, and you know, they played their hearts out.
Yeah, let's get a little bit more. Billy B joins us now on the set with a couple more of the highlights, if you will, from the game. But you got to get, like Tony said, T.O. played his heart out.
He played his heart out, and you're absolutely on target. This team, I mean, when they got down 10, they could have quit, and everything was going wrong, and they battled back into it, and you know, they came up a little short. They hurt themselves with some mistakes early. Why don't we take a look at the video? And they did manage to overcome those early mistakes. The big questions for Eagles fans in this game was, would T.O. play? What kind of impact he would have? And why don't we check it out and see exactly what he did, because it didn't take long for him to establish himself. The second play of the game, he makes the 7-yard catch, and you knew, yes, he was going to be a factor out there. But lots of mistakes early, as we said. Donovan McNabb sacked and fumbled, and the Patriots recover, but the Birds challenge, and the fumble is overturned, fortunately for them. But then later in the first, McNabb picked off by Asante Samuel in the end zone. But the interception's wiped out because of a penalty against the Patriots. And so the Eagles still have the ball, and McNabb has another try, and this time, the very next play, he is picked off again, and this one counts. Rodney Harrison near the goal line. Eagles squander an opportunity. Later in the first, more Birds errors. L.J. Smith catches the ball, but then trying to fight for extra yardage, and they take it away from him, and the Patriots recover. It's scoreless after one. Second quarter, Eagles start to turn it around. McNabb to Todd Pinkston. What a catch by Pink. 40-yard play, and it leads to this. McNabb finding L.J. Smith. He makes up for that fumble. The 6-yard touchdown. The Eagles have that 7-0 lead. That's when all those Eagles fans were going crazy all over town. Then Pat's making some mistakes. They're knocking on the door. Tom Brady is sacked. He just fumbles the ball, and somehow Darwin Walker comes up with it for the Eagles. But the Eagles couldn't do anything with it. They had to give it back. The next New England possession, it's Brady finding David Givens for the touchdown, and the game is tied at 7. Little T.O. mockery, I guess, there in the celebration. And that's what it was at the half, 7-up. Second half, Pats come out firing to Deion Branch. He had a huge game, 11 catches, 133 yards, and it sets up Brady to Mike Vrabel. Vrabel is a linebacker. They bring him in down near the goal line, and he's got pretty good hands for a linebacker, and the Patriots have a 14-7 lead. But the Eagles able to answer. McNabb somehow squeezes this one into Brian Westbrook, 10-yard touchdown. We're tied 14-all. But the Patriots are the defending champs, and they come back again. In the fourth quarter, a huge hole for Corey Dillon, and he's in for the score. Patriots have a 21-14 lead. Eagles now making a move to score, but McNabb's pass intercepted by Teddy Bruschi. And that was right after T.O. had made a big gain, and that really hurts there. The Eagles fighting to the end, though. McNabb to Greg Lewis, under 2 minutes left in the game. Look at this, 30-yard touchdown. Eagles are back within 3. If they could have recovered an onside kick, they could have tied the game. They did not. They still have one final chance, but in the final seconds, McNabb is picked off by Rodney Harrison again. Eagles come within 3 points, but that's not enough. New England holds on to win 24-21. Patriots have won 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls. The Eagles still have never won one. Here's Andy Reid after the game.
All right, Andy, getting here, obviously, probably no consolation for you. Tell me what disappoints you most about a loss like this.
Well, you know, the players and coaches work so hard and put so much time into it and effort, and, you know, that's probably the part that hurts the most.
Just talk a little about Terrell Owens. A lot of talk about him during the week. He really came through for you in a lot of key situations. Can you just sort of assess his play today?
Well, he did a heck of a job. There are a lot of guys that play very well, and T.O. is one of them, and you know, I was proud of the effort and the way they battled and so on. We just came up a little short, probably a couple too many turnovers, and you know, against a good football team, you know, you can't do that.
A little short is right. It's not like 24 years ago where they went to New Orleans and were pretty much overwhelmed by the whole experience. These guys were right there to the very end.
Right there.
Right there.
Oh.
Just couldn't
And
quite.
everyone said we were going to lose like 6 or more.
No, they made us proud.
They don't. Those people don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly.
Quickly, we're told our Eagles are coming back on the charter at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Will a lot of the Pro Bowlers just go straight to Hawaii or not even come home?
That's probably what they'll do.
Yeah.
That would mean most of the team then.
Yeah, right.
We've got 9 Pro Bowlers.
That's
All
right.
right. Thanks, Billy B. A lot more to come. We'll return to Jacksonville to get the latest from Good Day Philadelphia's Jennifer Frederick about the fans in the stands.
Plus, it was a rockin' halftime minus last year's skin and wardrobe malfunction. A taste of it all coming up. Would you believe that she's only had 2 drinks? Knowing when to say when, next Good Day.
The 2 biggest hits of the night happen after the Super Bowl. We want you to produce this year's halftime show. It's the season's halftime show, followed by American Dad, the new comedy from the creator of Family Guy.
You like shaving your armpits, Haley? Huh? Because if the terrorists take over this country, that's the first thing to go.
Right after the FOX29 news. Tonight.
I have 2 rambunctious kids. Actually, 3 if you count my husband. Between school sports and the fact that my husband still thinks he has the body of a 19-year-old, we go to Cooper Bone and Joint Institute. Well, more often than I'd like to. But they treat our sprained knees, sore joints, and occasional broken bones the same way they treat serious athletes with serious injuries. They're even great with my kids. All 3 of them.
Introducing an SUV so powerful it can take you someplace you've never been before. The Volvo XC90 V8. Find out more. Watch the big game or visit boldlygo.com.
Last night, a young woman was attacked and killed.
A random accident has unleashed an ancient curse.
Ever since the other night, things have been happening. Things I can't explain.
From the master of terror, Wes Craven.
Ellie? You alright now?
Something more powerful than they ever believed.
You've been cursed.
Has become more terrifying than they ever imagined.
It could be anywhere.
Rated PG-13, Friday, February 25th.
Want to talk to somebody about a great house at a great price in a great community? Hop on over to Teenage Properties and see why our homeowners are multiplying.
Case bunny suit not included with home purchase.
Introducing an SUV so powerful it can take you someplace you've never been before. The Volvo XC90 V8. Find out more. Watch the big game or visit boldlygo.com.
This Fox 29 program brought to you by Blazing Fast Comcast High-Speed Internet.
It's not enough to be faster than the competition. You need something more. Something that pushes you to get out in front and let you fall behind. That's the kind of drive that made Comcast High-Speed Internet America's #1 broadband provider and led us to develop features like Photo Show and The Fan. Because we know anyone can be fast, but it takes something more to be the best. Call now for this great offer.
You're watching a special live post-Super Bowl edition of the Fox 29 10 o'clock news. And right now, let's go to Don Collison. Don?
Yeah, we have Patriots owner Robert Kraft. Bob, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
A true NFL dynasty. You're fit for the trophy, but what's been the key to what the Patriots have been able to do?
Well, I don't think, first of all, I want to congratulate the Philadelphia fans. So you got a great ownership group led by Jeff Lurie and Andy Reid, and they gave us the toughest game we've had all year, and right down to the end, you guys could have won. I think, you know, there's a lot about Philadelphia that reminds me of New England. The passionate fans, the kind of support they give their team, it's unbelievable, and we know we're going to be seeing you guys again.
It was said during the week by your coach, Bill Belichick, that these are mirror images, and to be able to be as consistent and win as many games year in and year out with the salary cap, with free agency, it speaks to two organizations, Bob, doesn't it?
Well, it's so difficult, and you actually have done a better job going to 4 championship games. You know, we missed the playoffs completely one year, and I also know how hard it is when all of a sudden you're there and then it falls off, and I do feel how difficult that is. At the same time, I know you're going to be tough as nails next year, and the job that number 81 did out there, we didn't believe he was going to play.
It was incredible, wasn't it?
It was incredible. Great performance, champions performance. It just shows how badly they want to win.
And the last question that I want to ask you is, experience is so important in this game, and your guys fell behind, but no panic, and that's something that comes with playing in this game, isn't it, sir?
And, you know, I remember in 2001 we went 5-11, and all those close games we lost. And then your core group of guys in Philadelphia has a great, man, are they fast. And those 3 guys in the middle and the 10 Pro Bowl players, you have a good core group, and you're going to be a great team for quite a while. Thank you very much.
My friend. Thank you, Bob Kraft. Appreciate it very much. That was New England Patriots, Bob Kraft, a true class act in this league. And now let's hear from another one, Donovan McNabb, talking at the podium about the game just moments ago.
No, not at all. I mean, we've had a special year. This is a year in which no one expected us to do. I mean, you know, people may have said that we could have went to the Super Bowl, but who actually really felt that way? And when we got here, no one ever gave us a chance. And, you know, I bet you everyone was sitting at the edge of their seat when we went back out there with 50-something seconds left, because we possibly could have won that game.
It don't matter. I can be in the end zone. I feel the confidence that we can get the ball down and score. Well, I mean, you know, it's hard to kind of talk about that because obviously we lost. So, you know, you talk about the success that they've had and, you know, but I think, you know, it's remarkable how he was able to come back off the injury and do so well for us. Not at all. I mean, you know, one got caught up in the wind, one slipped out my hand, but, you know, I'm not going to be the one to make excuses. You know, when you're in full control as a quarterback, you have to be in command and get the ball where it needs to be. You know, hey, you know, we lost the game, but I'm going to keep my head high, continue to work hard, and, you know, maybe we'll be in Detroit next year. No. Okay. All right, thanks.
McNabb class act is all. Don and Dave, I thought it was so interesting that Bob Kraft, in the jubilation of another Patriots Super Bowl championship, is aware of how hard the Eagles played, how far their organization has advanced, just that notch below the Patriots. And the way he acknowledged T.O. had me already excited about Lehigh, and this is the owner of the Patriots. But many good things to come out of this game for the Eagles down the road, and it's so tough for all our great Eagles fans. But I really was cheered a little bit by Mr. Kraft speaking with us about knowing just how hard it is to be consistent, and the two most consistent teams in the league played here tonight in Jacksonville, guys.
And it shows you that the Patriots are looking at the Eagles as someone that they're going to be watching and afraid of, if you will, in the upcoming years.
That's right.
Yeah. And it was so interesting, real quickly, you guys, Don and Dave, were on the field right here at Alltel Stadium on Media Day, and I remember we went over and talked to Bill Belichick, the coach of the Patriots, who's so unbelievable, and he said they study the Eagles organization in the offseason in terms of free agency, in terms of drafting, and in terms of handling that salary cap. So I think we may see Patriots-Eagles a couple of times in the next couple of Super Bowls.
I think yeah, but right, with different outcomes, Tolly.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's the key.
Thank you, sir. Much more ahead in just a few minutes.
Super Bowl 39 is history. The dream denied. Our boys are coming back, and they're talking. Only on Fox 29, tomorrow at 10.
Drive the all-new, 5-star safety-rated Ford 500 for only $299 a month. This President's Day, the American road belongs to Ford 500.
It's not enough to be faster than the competition. You need something more. Something that pushes you to get out in front and refuses to let you fall behind. We know. That's the kind of drive that made Comcast High-Speed Internet America's #1 broadband provider and led us to develop features like Photo Show and The Fan. Because we know anyone can be fast, but it takes something more to be the best. Call now for this great offer.
She's the only daughter I have, you know. Oh. That's why I want to buy her the safest car I can get. You know what I mean? She's my only daughter. Stick it in. Okay.
You don't want to buy a car here. You want to go to Toyota.
The Toyota RAV4 was the first vehicle in history to score a double best pick for crash safety from the IIHS, and it's just one of 17 Toyotas moving you forward.
Come on.
Kid, how many fingers I got up? 4. What city are we in? I don't know. Remember what you did last night? No. Remember what I did last night? No. He's fine. It's all good. Let him in.
You're watching live Fox 29 10 o'clock news coverage, and you're looking live at Frankfurt and Cottman in the far northeast. Earlier, just within the last 45 minutes, thousands of disappointed Eagles fans poured out onto the streets. A lot of that crowd now has dissipated. A huge police presence there, keeping the peace. No reports of arrests or injuries. Just a lot of disappointed fans who are already talking about and dreaming about next year going to the Super Bowl.
It's not a dream, baby. We're going to be there.
I believe it.
Regardless of the outcome of the game, the Cinderella story of the Super Bowl, maybe of the whole season, just listening to this guy, has got to be Jeff Tomlinson, the construction worker signed just 2 weeks ago as tight end Chad Lewis's replacement.
Yeah, Fox 29's Robin Taylor watched the game with his Toll Brothers colleagues. Robin?
Well, this truly was a Cinderella story for number 85, Jeff Tomlinson. One day he's working for Toll Brothers. The next day he's suiting up in an Eagles jersey playing tight end in the Super Bowl. His co-workers are so proud of him. They put together these jerseys, number 85 on the front and Tomlinson on the back. They were here filling this room, cheering, just so excited to see him play.
We all work with him every day, so he's just a normal guy to us, and now we look on TV, and he's out there playing in the Super Bowl. Can't believe it.
Playing the Super Bowl, it's not even like a regular preseason game or a regular season game. It's amazing. I'm so happy and proud of him.
I was sitting in the office with him when he got the call from Chad Lewis, and then from player personnel, and he told me he's going to the Super Bowl. I figured he got some tickets or something, and he said he was playing in the Super Bowl. I said, Jeff, get out of here. Go get him. Make us proud.
We are so proud of him. I mean, he made a tackle, some great blocks. Fortunately, had a holding penalty, but it's amazing. I mean, last week he's filling out paperwork, and today he's playing in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's a dream come true.
Well, Tomlinson didn't just warm the bench. He was actually out there playing special teams and on the offensive line. His co-workers, again, very proud of him, and they look forward to telling him that in person on Tuesday. In Cranberry, New Jersey, Robin Taylor, Fox 29 News.
Man, they're not wasting any time getting him right back to work. Thank you, Robin.
They got houses to build.
Yeah, right. Hey, today's game provided quite a bit of drama.
Fox 29's Charlie Don Tollefson is live in Jacksonville with a wrap-up of all of it. Hey, Charlie.
Yeah, Dave, you know the word poise is sometimes overused in the world of sports, but Tom Brady, the quarterback of the Patriots, so poised when his team fell behind. Of course, he had Deion Branch, the MVP, putting on a great performance. But another class act in that Eagles locker room, Ike Reese, just talked to us about the Patriots quarterback.
It was tough. It was tough. We knew just going into the game. He does a great job of finding out where the blitzes are coming from, and even if you do get there, he does a great job of standing in the pocket and getting rid of the ball. I thought, I wish we had got our hands up a little bit more. We could have batted some balls down, but that's all hindsight. It's a tough loss.
And Deion Branch, the MVP, the Patriots, the winners once again, 24-21. They win another Super Bowl by 3 points, that most consistent of NFL kickers in big postseason games. David Akers is our favorite, of course, but Adam Vinatieri, once again, it's his foot that is the margin of victory. But again, I'll tell you something, Dave and Dawn. I've been listening to the Patriots players talking on some of the Boston and New England television stations that are right around us here at Alltel Stadium, and their respect for not only what the Eagles did tonight, the way the Eagles came back at the end there, made a game out of it at the end, but also the respect for where the Eagles are headed. Very much mirror what Bob Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, said live here on Fox 29 just a few minutes ago. I think everybody knows the bottom line about this Eagles organization is there's no reason to believe it won't continue to be on an upward trend for many years to come.
No question, Tolly. Live from Jacksonville. Thanks, Tolly.
Coming up, Eagles fans north and south cheered on the birds. We'll take you back to Jacksonville and see how fans down there are supporting the team. That's next.
Well, it's been mild the last couple of days, but my February outlook has some snow in the forecast. We'll have it in a few minutes.
Discover the endless possibilities and low price of the all-new Ford Freestyle. Now only $299 a month. This President's Day, go where there are no roads.
Every day, Progressive does something that's, well,
Progressive. They have this ticker that shows their car insurance rates and their top competitors. Right now on Progressive.com, you can see actual rates that people are getting. Sometimes Progressive is the lowest. Sometimes they're not. Hey, if they're this helpful when you're shopping for car insurance, imagine how they'll be once you're a customer.
Great job on that presentation today.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
It's as driven as you are. The new redesigned Camry XLE. Now that's moving you forward.
Life is full of milestones. That's why Sovereign Bank offers milestone banking. So you can grow, achieve, and thrive. Sovereign Bank.
I am so late. Where is 1000 Oakmont?
No problem. Take it right up there. Turn left, up here.
How am I doing?
You're doing fine.
I'm going to be late.
I already called ahead for you.
Wow. Thanks a lot.
No problem.
Imagine your life with a personal assistant 24/7. That's InPhone. Join us at InPhone.com.
Where am I?
No problem.
We bought a chap's designer suit at a department store for $329.99 on sale. At K&G, they're less than half that. K&G, for men, for women, for less.
You got a fight I don't know about.
$1 Million Baby, nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Actor. $1 Million Baby, rated PG-13, now playing at a theater near you.
Dream denied, but it's still one city, one team, one dream. You can see the police on the northeast section of Philadelphia on the streets along the Frankfurt and Cotman area, patrolling the streets, making sure things are safe for fans that are leaving the bars at this hour. So far, no big problems in the northeast. In fact, no big problems across the Delaware Valley that we've heard so far.
Yeah, which is a good thing. Let's get back to Dave Stratweiser, who's in the middle of it all. Dave, how is it where you are? Let's check back in with you.
All right, Dawn, here's our first look, if we can, to the police on the corner at Frankfurt and Cotman. You can see police officers staged along the entire section of Frankfurt Avenue here, right in the Mayfair section. The crowd has pretty much dispersed, still several hundred fans on the sidewalks, that kind of thing, but traffic is moving. Police do have things under control. I want to tell you, earlier today they came along, removed all of the trash cans and any kind of objects that fans might want to pick up in celebration and possibly throw around, but we had none of that. A few minutes ago, we were right down in the crowd when the police first arrived. We're going to show you some tape from that. Some fans, this is about the most unruly they got the whole time. There were fans jumping and screaming and hollering, some taking their shirts off. We had several fans grabbing a New England jersey, as you can see right there, trying to light it on fire. Now, as you know, the last time in the championship game that happened, the police quickly dispersed the crowd. Right there, we have a jersey trying to be lit on fire by the fans. Again, the police were surrounding this particular situation here, keeping an eye on it, and eventually did disperse this crowd. The only bit of an incident we did have there is several fans picked up snowballs, threw a few at police officers, but with the large police presence here, they moved them out right away. As you can see, they're trying to light that New England jersey on fire. Several hundred fans there on the corner. That's right on Frankfurt Avenue, out front of some of the bars here where some of the fans were gathering tonight. Quite a interesting night for the police here. I must say they did a quick job. They moved in quickly. As soon as several thousand fans gathered here, the Highway Patrol showed up. Uniformed police showed up. They dispersed the crowd, kept them on the sidewalks. That's where the police want them. They kept traffic moving. And again, they've moved them. If we go just a one last shot, you'll see the large police presence down there on Frankfurt Avenue. Helmeted police and uniformed police right on the street. More cops at this point, or police officers, I should say, than there are fans. But a pretty ruly crowd out here tonight. No major arrests. No major injuries that we're aware of. And that's it from here in the Mayfair section. I'm Dave Stratweiser. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Dave. Police making us proud, fans making us proud here in Philadelphia. We want to take you, though, to Jacksonville. And obviously, Dave and I just returned from there. And Jen, Frederick, as you know, we've been telling everybody that the folks in Jacksonville call it Jacksadelphia.
Absolutely, and what they're saying, at least what they were saying before the game, is, look, they are just happy for the opportunity to be here. Win or lose, they're just really thrilled that they were able to be a part of this wonderful game.
I waited a long time for this. I was 23 years season ticket holder, and I hit the lottery, and I brought my friend down, Rob. He's also a season ticket holder with me, and I love it.
You would have turned off your heat to pay for tickets?
Absolutely. I want to thank the National Hockey League for not having a season this year. So the $5,000 I saved on the Flyers, I put towards these tickets.
When we won this year, I had a special feeling. It was different, and I am very glad that I'm here. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
I started believing him in August. I said, this is our year. My heart was broken the last 3 years. It will not be broken today.
They are definitely not heartbroken here. A lot of the fans, as Sally was talking about earlier, kind of flooded out of the stadium earlier, and it really is a tribute to how many Eagles fans there were here, that very few people were in the stadium after the Eagles fans left. Of course, there was a smattering, and you saw all the kids with the players and everything, and it was almost surreal that it wasn't our guys, Dave and Dawn, because I think there was such a build-up. Everyone waiting to see our guys come home with that Vince Lombardi trophy.
I know. Next year, Jen.
I know, and it was interesting. Like, Tom Brady walked right by us, and you know, he was real calm and collected with his thoughts, and Coach Belichick was just near us, and everyone, as Tolly's been saying, is talking about Philadelphia, talking about this great team, and talking about their fans. You know our reputation. I don't have to tell you what that is.
It's a good reputation.
Yeah, sure. And basically, they're saying that everyone really, you know, held their own, acted classy down here in Jacksadelphia, and everyone's hoping to maybe we'll see each other in Detroit next year.
All right, thanks a lot, Jen.
And the weather will probably be warmer, Dave.
Definitely will. Today's Super Bowl halftime show was a hit with no embarrassing moments. Legendary singer, musician Paul McCartney of the Beatles fame, and what was the name of his band? Band on the Run? Band on the Run. Well, he entertained millions of Super Bowl fans. He performed hits like Live and Let Die, Baby You Can Drive My Car, Hey Jude. This was his second time performing at a Super Bowl. He sang in the pregame show of the 2002 game in New Orleans. That was the first one after 9/11.
Fox 29 special coverage is back right after this.
Drive the all-new, 5-star safety-rated Ford 500 for only $299 a month. This President's Day, the American road belongs to Ford 500.
It's not enough to be faster than the competition. You need something more. Something that pushes you to get out in front and refuses to let you fall behind. We know. That's the kind of drive that made Comcast High-Speed Internet America's #1 broadband provider and led us to develop features like Photo Show and The Fan. Because we know anyone can be fast, but it takes something more to be the best. Call now for this great offer.
Why do we live to give hope to others? We see what medicine can do. We're Penn.
This is attorney Larry Pitt with an important message for those of you who have been injured in an accident. For more than 20 years, the law office of Larry Pitt and Associates has fought for the rights of workers injured on the job, victims of medical negligence and defective products, and people injured in automobile accidents or on someone else's property. Call Larry Pitt and Associates for a free consultation. Our number is 215-546-0011 because we're here to serve you.
They're all rookie cars.
Hey guys, got us a treat. Chicken enchiladas. Smothered in melty, saucy, cheesy. Smothered on the inside.
The chicken enchilada grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell. Slow simmered savory enchilada sauce, tender all white meat chicken and melted cheese. Wrapped up then grilled to go.
So what's that for?
For enchilada taste, it's delicious inside and out. Think outside the bun.
So, how's the new job, Steve?
It's Mark, sir.
And you know that, Dad.
What happened to Steve? I like Steve.
More refined, more impressive. The redesigned Camry XLE. Now that's moving you forward.
Another dry day today, beautiful day today. We're watching some showers off to the west, and we'll keep an eye on those. Those will work their way into the region the next couple of days. So here's the map for tomorrow. Sunshine again. How about low 50s through the afternoon? The front hanging back to our west. We put it in motion. The clouds are going to start to come in, actually coming in overnight tonight. And then as we go into Tuesday, we are back into the 50s once again. And then by Wednesday, this front finally reaches our area. And yes, we'll pop open the umbrellas, not the shovels this time, as it stays too warm, at least this week. The temperatures in the 50s on Wednesday with showers in the forecast. And here's my February outlook in case you're wondering. Once we get to the middle of the month here coming up shortly, we do increase our chances of snow. That would be next week. There's a couple of chances as the pattern starts to turn a little colder and a little more stormy from the 11th to the 20th, and then we'll pretty much even out towards the end of the month. So forecast overnight tonight, I should say clear skies with increasing clouds. Clouds already have moved into the area. Not as cold as the last few nights. Temperatures in the mid-20s to low 30s. And then as we look at tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon. Probably more clouds in the morning. Mild again, about 52 degrees in the afternoon. Very nice here for early February. And your 5-day forecast, in case you're wondering the rest of the week, here's how it sets up. Get a little fog Tuesday morning. Some showers on a Wednesday. Not heavy rain at this point. Once we get into Thursday, we'll start to cool down as the storm moves up into New England. Temperatures about 42 degrees. And on Friday, mostly cloudy skies, highs around 40. There's a change in the 9-day trend. Yes, we do. Once we get past the later part of this week, you can see temperatures starting to cool down Saturday and Sunday. And now on Valentine's Day itself, we could get some rain, snow, or a mixture of sleet and freezing rain. Still work on that. That's a number of days away. And then we'll dry out again on Tuesday with temperatures at around 40 degrees. So mild this week, but turning colder towards the end of the week. That's big picture weather.
And once again, the Eagles give it a great effort and come up just a little bit short. 24-21, they lose in the Super Bowl game. The undrafted receiver out of Illinois, Greg Lewis, who's really emerged for them this year, came up with a 30-yard touchdown late in the game that put the Eagles in a position to possibly win it, but they couldn't quite pull it out. And right now, Greg Lewis is as disappointed as anyone else about the loss.
Anytime you lose, it hurts. I mean, it's not a which hurts more, which hurts less. It's a loss regardless. If you're a competitor, you don't want to lose, and they all hurt the same.
Was it kind of bittersweet, first NFL touchdown?
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, I feel good about getting a touchdown, but it wasn't enough to help this team win, and that's what I feel like I'm supposed to do. And all the guys in here, we come out and try to help the team win, and my touchdown didn't help anything, so, I mean, it really didn't matter.
What was it about their defense that was Donovan some of the problem?
Donovan didn't have any problem. I mean, they just made a play, and that's giving credit to them. Donovan did a great job, and everybody else out there, I'm proud of everybody. It wasn't one particular person or one particular play that caused problems out there.
Too bad the Eagles couldn't bring it home for those incredible fans who showed their tremendous spirit throughout the day, throughout the weeks leading up to this game. In fact, Eagles chants everywhere today, including the Wachovia Center, where you could hear EAGLES reverberating throughout the Sixers game. The Eagles getting many more cheers, in fact, than the 76ers. First, we're going to take a look at the other Philly football team in action, the Soul. Visiting Chicago, Millersville, Sean Scott with a huge game today. Tony Graziani finds him for a 17-yard touchdown. The local guy, Sean Scott, 4 touchdowns in this one, but not enough. Chicago beats the Soul 51-41. Now for a look at that Sixers game. They're taking on the Clippers. Kyle Korver with the steal and the behind-the-back pass to Andre Iguodala for the Monster Jam. This game with the Clippers tight throughout, but Allen Iverson steps it up, drops the 3 here. Sixers win 106-104 over the Clippers. But, of course, the win that everybody was hoping for did not come about in Jacksonville, in the Super Bowl. The Eagles, that's where Don Tollefson is now. Tolly.
Yeah, Billy, I just spent about 3 minutes with perhaps one of the most disappointed guys in the locker room, trainer Rick Burkholder. And you know how hard he worked with T.O., and he was so amazed by T.O.'s performance tonight. But he said something as he left to get on the bus with all the guys. He said T.O. set a tone for this team this year with his persona when he was healthy, then with his work ethic when he was hurt. It paid off in the way he played tonight, and he said he thinks that what T.O. did here tonight, and this is the Eagles trainer, probably the best trainer in the NFL, it'll set an off-season work ethic tone for this team. Bodes very well. We'll have a lot of that interview on Good Day Philadelphia tomorrow, also on the FOX29 10 o'clock news. And I may need Rick, because I just sprinted from the Eagles locker room to make sure I could join you at the end here, Billy. And it wasn't easy, man.
Don't pull anything.
No, but he had great things to say, and we'll hear more of them on Good Day Philadelphia about T.O.
You sound like some oxygen.
Yeah, really. Help them out there. Hey, if you want to cheer on our birds who made us very proud this season, brought us to the Super Bowl, you want to head over to Enterprise and Island Ave near the airport tomorrow, because actually you can greet them and cheer them on.
They'll be arriving. Bruce Gordon will be there. I think Billy V's going to be there, too, to talk to some of the players, to get reaction. And, again, just to cheer on this team for a tremendous season that we had this year.
Yeah, and that's 3 p.m. tomorrow.
Continue the dream. One city, one team, one dream.
We're dreaming.
Yeah, we'll be back.
I'm going to go home and cry now.
I thought you were going to cry in a sec. It starts in Lehigh in August.
We're there, baby.
We're there.
Next year.
July, but...
Oh, July.
Thank you, Billy V.
Thank you very much. Who's counting?
Thanks for being with us, everybody.
All right, good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night at today.
Discover the endless possibilities and low price of the all-new Ford Freestyle. Now only $299 a month. This President's Day, go where there are no roads.
Now you can get great tasting steak without a grill. Introducing the new steak, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich from Dunkin' Donuts, served on a freshly baked bagel. Have your steak in the morning and give your grill the day off. Dunkin' Donuts, bring yourself back.
Winter time and the savings are easy, especially during Infinity's limited engagement winter event at Infinity of Westchester and Infinity of Ardmore. FX, the way to go in the snow, now up to $7,000 off. And G35, the beauty of all-wheel drive no matter what the weather, now just $269 a month. Get luxury and safety for less during Infinity's limited engagement winter event, extended now through February 28th at Infinity of Westchester and Infinity of Ardmore. Call us today at 1-877-BUSH-CARS.
At a department store, you can get a 100% wool suit for $299.99. K&G has 100% wool suits that look just as stylish for a third of that. K&G. For men, for women, for less.
Come on.
How many fingers I got up?
4.
What city are we in?
I don't know.
You remember what you did last night?
No.
Remember what I did last night?
No.
He's fine. It's all good. Let him in.
Super Bowl 39 is history. The dream denied. Our boys are coming back, and they're talking. Only on Fox 29, tomorrow at 10.